Welcome to Crowdsurfing. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Vic Garcia. Hello.
I'm Chris Yee. I speak normal.
I'm Camilla Clycorn.
Wow, I'm having a mint.
Oh, that a piece of ice or something.
No, I know. I got a little hole right
Icy Mint. That's our new Kickstarter. Welcome to Crowdsurfing, where we talk about Kickstarter, Backer Kit, and GameFound projects.
And Indiegogo.
Yeah, there is an Indiegogo today. There is. Did you see it?
There was an Indiegogo
Did you see
today.
it?
You're right. I did see it. Seriously, though, I was honestly thinking that GameFound and Backer Kit would be more of a thing.
A bigger fight. Kind of like a Godzilla versus King Kong thing, but as it turns out, King Kong's a punk. I forget who won, actually. King Kong?
It was Mechagodzilla.
Spoiler alert.
Anyhow, we are going to start off with a contest, and this contest is for a game called Shake That City. Shake your city, folks. Mm-hmm. It's from AEG, and we're actually going to be playing this one live in 2 weeks at our Winter Spectacular. There's like a little machine type thing that you put cubes in, and then they come out in a pattern. And that pattern is none of your business, because to enter this contest, you need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word shake, shake, just shake, Sonora. Just put the word shake, and then answer the question, what cube pattern does the cube shaker reveal?
What's the pattern? Got it.
So it actually shakes it and makes a pattern.
It like drops them out, like bloop.
This has Mike DeLisio written all over it.
No, there's no seesaw and or Vikings. So.
Are there magnets, though? Because he's all in on the magnets.
There's no magnets, but it is a cool device.
Well, maybe not then.
Also, if you email us to enter this contest, make sure you include your name and address so that we can make sure to get these out. This is for folks in the U.S. We got 2 winners. Thank you, AEG. And I'm looking forward to trying this one out. We have it on our shelf right now.
Fantastic.
All right, so in Crowdsurfing, we take a look at projects that are ending in the next 8 to 9 days. And somehow, that slipped my mind 2 weeks ago that we weren't going to do this last week. So we missed a couple projects. So we're going to start by briefly taking a look at these projects. Here we go.
All right.
So first we have... Whoops.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm kicking people.
awkward.
On the Underground, Paris, New York.
Tom, stop it.
Me and Camilla and Mike played this one.
That
right?
would be me.
It'd be
No, Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, it's forgettable.
Wow.
Pretty sure.
Wow.
I was trying to think who it was.
You're too lazy to get up.
I'll show you.
Anyway, this is very similar to the first On the Underground, just with 2 more maps that play actually fairly differently. And I had a lot of fun. Really look forward to this one. Where this point is at, I'm sure there'll be some sort of late pledges. You can sign up to get updates here. And also, Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I know a lot of people are curious. This is in my top video games I've played in my life, Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
This is big right now, video games to board games.
It is.
It's really big.
There's a lot of that going on.
That being said...
Is this like a Civ type game, Tom?
Not really. It's Heroes of Might and Magic.
RTS?
No, it's a turn-based game. You have these heroes of might and magic.
Okay.
No, but you would...
You have 3 of them, I'm guessing.
No, you would have... No, this was the third one.
That was a solid, subtle joke. I got nothing.
No, but you would have
how
a-
sequels were Top
you would
Gun
have a
2.
city-
There's 2 Top Guns now.
You would have a city that would produce different creatures that would... Like, so I was playing Necromancer, I might get some skeletons. If I'm the hero, I might get some peasants. But then you would on turn-based, you move your guy around the map. You would discover things. You might find mines that would give you more production. You go back to your cities. You build things, get better. And then if you ran into another hero or just a group of monsters, there would be a fight, but it was all turn-based.
Okay.
It's very much
old,
like a board game.
I'm guessing also.
Yeah, I think they just came out with 7, or I don't remember. But 3
Jeez.
is on the iPad, and it works really well on the iPad.
Okay.
So I like this game a lot. That being said, I am ambivalent towards this actual game because 2 reasons. One, I'm not convinced that a video game can be turned into a board game. It's a difficult process to do.
Interesting.
Also, it's Archon, and their games are very, very, very miss and miss.
Oh.
So that's a sequel. You missed both times.
Yeah.
Missed 2.
I mean, it might work. I mean, if there's a game that you should be able to make into a board game, it should be a game that's basically a board game.
I agree with that. Yeah. Did you like the FFG, the Fantasy Fly one, the Civ from Fantasy Fly Games?
Well, I like that one fine, but you remember that's based on Civ 5, which is my least favorite of all the Civs.
It's a video game. Ah, whatever. I'm not excited about this either, but I'm bringing nothing to the table with this game. So a whole different...
Did you like Civilization? Like the video game?
I've never played any of them, I think.
SimCity?
SimCity I've played. I liked it all right, yeah.
I don't know if you'd like Heroes Might Magic. I really like it because I like the tactical.
I like that idea. I find those games a little hard to get into.
Yeah, it starts you off fairly easy. Like you just have this guy and you get peasants, and after a while you find a gold mine. You're like, oh, now I can get knights.
I like that idea, yeah.
All right.
They have a lot of backers. That's a ridiculous amount of backers.
Well, it's very popular. It's one of the most popular video game franchises. All right. Now let's go to
3 is clearly the most popular.
It is
That's the
for
one-
some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also a series just called Might and Magic, which is more of an RPG style video game, and I never played those.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at projects that are currently on and that you guys actually looked at.
Yes.
Panda Party.
Oh, yeah!
This takes place in an alternate reality where adorable pandas eat pizza and party hard.
Yeah.
No, that's not an alternate reality.
And then
that is the San Diego
Some
Zoo.
of ours, actual reality, yes.
Well, where do they have, like, this one's body is made of food.
Also at the San Diego Zoo.
What is that, a cookie?
It's
Hershey's
like-
fudge.
And
looks
look,
like-
there's a bite taken out of his side. There's cannibalism going on at this party.
Look, if you
Whoa.
were made out of ice cream, I don't know how long you would last in this office, Tom.
I know exactly how long it would last in this office, and it would be less than a day.
That's warm also. You'd melt.
What kind of ice cream?
This looks like a really terrible Take That game.
That's my concern. As I looked, I was like, "Oh, cool! You're trying to, first to get their party. Wait, no.
Yeah, every card
You're
I saw.
sabotaging.
Yeah, no,
Like,
everything.
it's like sabotage, sabotage, sabotage. Nah.
So I like that this is, I guess, co-sponsored with the
Yes,
WWF.
That's really cool.
That's
Oh, yeah, that's the wrestling, right?
yeah.
Right. I like...
The only time I've ever seen that logo before is whenever I read an article about why the WWF had to change to WWE. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's that logo from that article.
No,
Yeah. Oh, I mean, but
That's
it's
cool.
it's a good organization. I like the artwork and the presentation. This page itself is pretty well put together. I like everything about it except for the game.
I think that's it. I think
unfortunately.
the theme, they kind of seem to really enjoy this, and they're going for silly. They're getting that, but actually, like you said, the gameplay, nah.
it's not going to be
gonna
for
be-
it's not going to be for me at all.
Right.
I don't remember everything that's coming up, but I think this might be the worst looking game that we're going to be looking at this week, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hate that
Well, then you can
shirt.
only go up then.
I don't know. I mean, I like the pleasant look of it. I wish that it were a more pleasant game to go with the pleasant look, right? Rather
Yeah.
than like, it
seems
seven.
Yeah, when you
Stupid,
say
all the
worst
things they're
looking
saying.
game, do you mean the look of it or just the game itself?
The worst game. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Oh,
this might
okay.
be
I
the
thought you
worst
meant the
game.
art.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It just seems like there is no game there.
Yeah.
They're like, pandas are funny. Silly pandas. There is no game here from what I could see.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Inheritance. Wedding bells are ringing. Use your multi-use cards to secure your piece of the royal inheritance.
Now, this one was interesting to me. I was surprised this was not doing better because it looks to be a spin, a play on Red 7. It's basically a Red 7 type game in which if at the beginning of your turn you control the ring, game's over, you win. And so on your turns, if I have the ring at the beginning, on your turn, you need to make sure make sure that it doesn't come back to me and I have it. So if it's just us two, if you're not pulling it away, I win on my next turn. And you can change what suit wins, whether high or low cards win, and a special ability. That seems really neat. I don't know why this is not doing better. It seems all right.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is one that I kind of wrote off, but then the more I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. My one concern is maybe is it too luck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you lucking into the right cards to be able to take control of it? Because also, if you can't take control of it on your turn, then you're out.
Yeah,
And so
it's
it's like, so it's
a
one of those,
very,
it's
again,
like, are you going to have that, well, I just had a bad hand draw, so that's a little concerning, but overall, it's definitely still one that I'd be interested in trying because I thought it was really clever. And I think it looks good too. I kind of like the simplistic art in this. I think it's really
like
cute.
the look a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of
This-
stained glass window.
Yeah.
type
Stained
art.
glass,
Board
yeah.
right there.
Really
That just looks
striking.
good.
It does, yeah.
it's it's very much Red 7. I don't know, which is a
Yeah.
popular
I
game.
haven't played that one, so yeah, I don't know.
I haven't played that in a while. All right.
What did you think, Tom, of that one? You liked it?
Red 7?
This.
It looks interesting.
The Inheritors, yeah.
Ceres. This is from Artipia Games. It's been a while since I've seen one from them. Again, it does I like this is a nice. It's weird because it's a nicely drawn cover. I'm also convinced I've seen that game before.
I
The
think
game because of the board or the cover? Like
It just
It's
looks
a
like
ro-
a lot of other covers.
Okay,
It looks
gotcha.
this
like
is
Then
not a
cover.
reprint. Are we sure? Because I feel like I've seen that cover before too.
it's not a reprint. No.
It has some touches of like Beyond the Sun. There's a lot of
Okay,
sci-fi kind
yeah.
of games.
actually looks like Alien Frontiers.
Yeah, like if you mix Alien Frontiers Beyond the Sun, that's kind of what this cover is, I think. I'm interested in trying this one. It sounds like a heavy Euro game, right? Or at least an involved one. There's a lot of cool things going on that you can build up and do worker placement, build up these robots and put them in that circular board over on the side. Circular spinning boards.
Right.
They're
So weird. That's
happening.
a thing with sci-fi games right now, which is weird how a lot of them are doing it all of a
It
sudden.
just caught on in the last like. Roy's over there. Someone came up with that idea, and people were like, in all the sci-fi games.
Okay, well, but
I do
it,
think
it
it's
has
cool.
existed in a long time ago. I mean, it was in Buck Rogers.
But I mean, I think the point is it's like kind of hot right now.
Yeah,
We're
it's made
seeing
of
a
hot
lot of
right
it,
now,
you know,
yeah.
Right.
This is different though. This is more of a looks like more of a worker placement type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Or you send your bonuses.
I could
out
watch
there.
this all day.
I think it's really cool. I
think
like it
it-
a lot.
I think it looks really good. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, please go.
I was gonna say, and unlike a lot of sci-fi games that I've seen recently, I feel like I can read the board. It doesn't have that like slightly transparent background and really bad text over it. Like I look at everything, I think this one looks readable. I'm very interested in playing this one.
I also thought this one had the mechanism of how it is worker placement, but there's two different ways and two different pools of workers. You have your own personal pool of workers, but then the communal pool of workers, and then new workers, you know, each round as they're coming in with their new stats or abilities or what, you know, that kind of stuff. Are you looking up the...
I'm looking up the designer.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so you kind of have that other pool of coming in that's kind of that communal as well for the placement. I thought that was really interesting. So you're kind of trying to balance those two. That was interesting.
I'm not finding any interest in this one at all.
Well, yeah, but you hate space. I like it.
I don't know what it is, but you're right that it's not a genre that gets a pass.
Watch
for me.
this card slide into that.
There
Oh,
are some genres that for me
oh,
get
that
a
looks
pass.
so good.
Like post-apocalyptic for me gets a pass, right? That's the thing. I'm like, oh, doesn't look that great, but post-apocalyptic, I'll look for fun in it. Space, you're right. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm saturated by it, I guess. It needs to go above and beyond for me.
This looks really good. I think
I
this
know.
looks fantastic.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
I don't
Yes.
like
I just
it.
thought the
It looks
cover was
busy as
generic,
all
that's all.
get out.
See, I'm with you in that space is not a theme that immediately excites me. I'm rather ambivalent about it, but the rest of this, I think, okay, I'm interested. But it also
mean-
looks more like my kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that has
crazy.
some tracks and it has some worker placement, both of which, you know, make you drool. So, yeah, it definitely. Who's Tom? Oh.
Candy, ice cream
Who's
man over
Tom?
here.
Wait, did you
Ice
say
cream
who's
man.
Tom? My name changed when I wasn't looking? Ice cream, what?
go-
Live.
Ice cream man. You
Ice
said
cream man,
yourself that you
yes.
wanted to be made of ice cream.
No, I said if I was made of ice cream. I don't want to be made of ice
You
cream.
promised us ice cream tomorrow.
There's ice cream in the
Go.
there's ice cream in the fridge,
don't
right? The
want
freezer
it.
right
That's
now.
How am I
old.
here?
It's
How
like a
are we
week
live
old.
right now?
I don't
All
want it.
right, Copan, Dying City. So the city is destined to fall. This is a worker placement
It's on
Euro
its-
game
it's on
with
its
a
final
reverse
days.
difficulty curve. Like it's
What does that mean?
Huh?
that means the game gets easier as you play. I don't know what that means.
I think stuff gets worse because
Yes.
the impending apocalypse is
The
coming.
different dooms happen
That's
and take
not
out.
a reverse difficulty curve. Have they not ever played any cooperative game where you start pandemic, you're like, I think we got this, and then 5 turns later, you're like, we don't.
Is
I
It's
really
not a
don't-
reverse difficulty curve.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't.
Did
I don't
anybody
understand.
see what that meant?
I
Go
think that's
ahead.
what it means. Is stuff falls apart on the board over the course of the game.
That happens in
That's like-
every co-op game.
So that's like declining options.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's action selection.
Oh, maybe that's
so
it.
so it's more declining options, not declining. Like it's easier to make a decision because haha, now you don't have one.
If that's the case,
think
I don't
so.
want to play it. I hate games where the options go down.
Interesting.
That's my worry about this. I like the setting. I like the aesthetic. I like the sound of so much, but you might have invested early in the game. So I'm going to make some alliances with these cities, and then it says over the course of the game, as the gets close to the ending rounds, other cities could be destroyed,
which are randomly done because it's by dice roll. So is it that you put
Yeah.
your strategy? But again, I don't know that that's worked into it. Is it just those go down? It's your alliances, so you want to spread out, instead of going hard in one. I don't know. I wasn't able to get enough of a feel for the gameplay. I'm not as opposed to that, kind of declining options and different things falling apart.
Yeah.
Unless it's not balanced well enough where it's like, oh, that one person just the last 3 events completely wrecked them and took them out of their game. So now they're just sitting there pretending not to be a sourpuss,
Yes.
But that's like a real thing. There should
It
be a
is.
word
Oh,
for
yeah.
that where you're really unhappy with the way the game's treated you, but you're trying not to
You're trying.
ruin
You're
everyone
like,
else's time or show it. So you're doing a
Yes.
fake woohoo.
Oh, that's an
think we've all
exciting
been there.
term for you.
I think this looks good. I like the look of this one. I don't know anything about how mechanically it's going to go. I'm trying not to... I don't know. It's hard for me to say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to like this or I am going to like that. I have no idea. This is one I'd have to play and see what it feels like to actually play. None of the sounds of diminishing options, all of that, things breaking down. None of that bothers me whatsoever. And I think the game looks awesome. I like the theme. I like everything like you said. I'm not concerned mechanically. This looks great. I really, really like the look of it.
It reminds me a lot of Teotihuacan, which is a game I love aesthetically, a game I love mechanically.
There it is.
I will say, as far as the mechanisms in this one, I really did like the board of gathering the resources and kind of that little puzzle, where you have your little piece and you're putting it out there, and so you get 2 of that resource plus 2 of the resources around it. So you're trying to plan ahead to get the resources, but it's also a little puzzle. You see what I'm saying? I like that,
fun.
which then feeds into your own little mask that you're building and going back to the aesthetics. I thought that was a cool mechanism, that those 2 things feeding into each other, and also looked really cool on the table. Your own ancestral mask looked really neat.
It says it right there. The reverse difficulty curve makes the game progressively harder as you play.
Wait.
Providing a fascinating puzzle. I don't understand what...
The city's
Reverse-
slow decline means that resources will become increasingly rare. Well, they're saying that, unlike many, if you play an engine building game, stuff gets more plentiful. But this is not
guess.
unique.
It's so weird,
this is not
though.
unique to cooperative games.
I think
all of them get harder.
Reverse
Well, this
difficulty is
isn't
not
co-op.
co-op.
Oh, it's not co-op.
Yeah, no. This
Reverse
is competitive.
difficulty
It's
is
even worse.
a weird term. They should just say increasingly difficult as the game goes on. Reverse
Yeah.
difficulty doesn't make any sense. Reversed as opposed to what? Like if you said reversed aging, I know how aging works.
Right.
You get older.
I think in most engine building games, the difficulty curve is you start off very poor and then you, by the end, have just a glut of resources. How do I want to spend my plentiful wealth?
That's
It's a weird leap
A
of
lot of
logic.
games don't do that. They also increase the cost many games,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's a
This
selling
makes me
point
not
that-
want to play the game.
I think them calling it difficulty curve is what's throwing it off. It's like it's fine that it's reversed, but we're not understanding what do you mean difficulty.
Yeah.
That's that one word is the hang up.
I like almost everything about this so far. I'm a little bit worried about the random cities getting blown up over the course of the game. I'm a little bit concerned about that reverse difficulty curve, but I'm very interested in this one.
Yeah, this is mechanically looking at it. Yeah, one I
There's
would.
a lot of
gone already.
Whoa.
there's a lot of frowny
Destroyed.
faces here. Yeah, I'm very much not interested
in this one.
in this one at all because
Really?
of that.
Okay.
I like my games to get more
Go
fun
back.
as they go by.
Go back up to the big shot of the board. Yeah, there.
There.
Looks like a T game.
A little bit, but it also looks way more manageable.
Gosh, it
Yeah, I
does.
was
It looks a lot cleaner.
I was going to say, I think that a lot of the games this week are showing some restraint, which for me, I know that's my taste, impresses me. This doesn't look like a gigantic board and a
Yeah.
player board almost the size of the board, and P.S. there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Find a table to play this game on. This looks manageable.
Right.
All right. Werewolf, the Apocalypse Retaliation.
Maybe not so much restraint here.
That was my first thought when I
That doesn't look that big.
Well, and I looked too, right? Here's where I think this one shows some restraint. Those big map tiles there, there's 8 in the whole game. So you're
How
not going
big do
to...
they start, though? I mean, 8.
No, like that size, they're going to be big
There's
tiles.
8 that size.
There's 8 this size for the whole game. Unlike a lot of dungeon crawls that are like, find... We talked about this with like Gloomhaven, when they're like,
Right,
find this
yeah,
little
yeah.
teeny connector
Like,
piece, connect these 5 hallways
That's
and this
true.
big room. This
What
one
do you
looks
mean?
big and you know...
Oh, he's melting.
This one looks like a big, epic game and everything, but it also has some potential signs of like, oh, we exercised a little bit of restraint. Like right there, it shows what comes in the game, and it's not this overwhelming mountain of stuff.
I mean, speaking of themes, you were talking about themes and how some get a pass. This one definitely gets a pass for me. You know, I love this theme, this whole werewolves, but it's this wolf pack, and you have to like rebuild your pack and then go out and the boss battler. But I really I'm not a big RPGer, but this is my favorite part, like my favorite kind of RPG, where you're like building your character. So you choose your character, you choose their background, you choose their attributes, so you're RPGing your character, building your wolf pack, and then going out to try to avenge the pack in the wild as you go on adventures and boss battling, that kind of stuff. I think that this theme is really, really cool, and I like those two elements, that the way they do RPG here combined with that adventure boss battler, kind of feel is really exciting to me.
That's pretty impressive.
There's a lot of that boss battler kind of stuff lately.
Is.
And I'm finding that I like boss battlers more in general than I like big dungeon crawls, because I find that dungeon crawls often get unwieldy. Okay, look for this tile, find this big old thing. When they're just like, here's the arena, make do with it, there's less admin, and so I'm just having fun
It's
more.
more about the character than it is about everything else.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And again, from what I saw, this isn't, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not campaign, right? It's standalone kind of stuff, which is, again, a huge plus. Did anyone else see differently?
I'm assuming it's a campaign, but
I assumed, but I didn't see it in there, so.
It took me a long time to figure out that this is also cooperative. I thought that there were, in terms of the page, a few things that could have been maybe a little bit more clear.
Again, a lot of these projects, unfortunately, are like, werewolves, look at these minis,
I
look
think
at this
this is the
stuff,
first werewolf
look at the girth.
dungeon crawl I've ever seen.
And then eventually they're like, oh, it's cooperative, by the way.
well,
Oh, it's this.
Is this werewolf about that?
It's werewolf, but it's
You just
also.
ate that? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. What do you eat? You had me.
Look at him. He just walks up there and just goes, hi. I'm like, ooh, I wonder how this combat's going to work. Never mind, he just slings that guy up.
Yes.
What do you expect a
What
werewolf
is the
to do?
problem? But I like this one because it
Would you
really
like
is.
to engage in some fisticuffs, my good sir?
This is one that is in the werewolf genre, also leaning into more of that wolf side of them. Again, it talks about the pack, and the strength of the pack and how you have to work together, bringing in that cooperation, that cooperative theme. I mean, I.
You really liked it.
I'm really excited by this one. This one really, that RPG element, and again, not being an RPG or just not having that creativity, but I love building a character and then going to see what they can do.
What else have these folks done?
From the name and the look of the project, I thought I was going to hate it outright. From watching the video, this is the squishiest sound effect video that I've ever seen a Kickstarter video for. There is it sounds like someone is stomping through a bucket full of livers in the ADR room.
Why you livers, you weirdo?
Why not?
All right, I played Unto Daylight. I thought it was a great artwork, but I didn't think the game was great. This one,
They remade it.
we talked about that because
Oh, yeah,
it
not long
just
ago.
happened. And then they apparently did a vampires. Now we're at werewolf.
They're kind of all over the place a little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested in this one, which surprises me.
All right, Goblin Tray, foldable and magnetic storage tray for board games.
This is doing gangbusters. What? $100,000? These are cool. I thought they were really neat.
These are.
I don't hate
They're
these. Oh,
expensive.
we
You
need to.
don't hate them.
Did you look at the price?
I did not look at the price. Were they pricey?
They're really pricey. That was my thing. I was like, oh, these are cool. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like the modularity. Oh, I like the dual side. Oh, this is neat.
Look at the modularity.
The price.
They're $10 each, or more than $10, or $12,
Yeah, I think they're $12
each.
Yeah, they have
each is what I saw.
magnets in them.
Which is cool.
Here's
But
why I'm not as big of a
expensive.
fan of these as, let's say, well, again, I always compare them to the storage things we have,
Yes.
or even game trays, is they don't work in the box. They only work outside the box. I want something I can do both. I can
Oh,
hold
you
it
want
in
to
the
do a
box,
storage solution in there.
and I can use it during the game.
But-
This is something you leave. They put them in the game and in their shop, but this is the kind of thing you really leave together with your card racks and your dice tray, dice tower, perhaps.
Yes.
Blood dust. I think that's
Pull a treat out of my pocket. Woo!
Yeah. These are definitely kind of that luxe item that you have that you pull out with your dice tray, with your, that kind of stuff. And it
you
is
could do
really
Arkham
neat.
Horror.
I do like the card ones that they have that little slant, and then the bottom is open, so it's not like that last card you're trying to dig out with,
Yeah, I thought it was
That's how I do
good.
it.
With
That's
your
how I do
werewolf
it, right? Yeah.
Werewolf.
You think it's $12 good?
No, I don't know. I think that might be a bit much for one of these, especially considering you're not getting one. You got to get more for them to be cool.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're pricey. They're pricey, but they're neat. They seem cool.
And every time that we say that the price gives us pause, there's plenty of people that this is not too pricey for.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, at the same time, if this is something that I could go to the store and buy, this is something that I would see me getting for a gamer who has everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
here's a cool Lux item, that I got
She
you.
plugged us, Tom.
Something that, oh, yeah.
Treat.
Link down below.
I gotta say, these percentages off are, first of all, don't tell me it's 10% off on the base price. They're like, instead of it being 26, it's 24, which, by the way, isn't 10%. But I'm not gonna. Okay, we'll let
But
you
you
lie.
won't shout it, for
We'll
example.
let you lie
Right.
about your 10%. But then this one is 13%. It's just another dollar savings.
Yeah.
Or no, not another dollar. But like when you get down here, you're like, I'm getting 48 of them. Finally, the price comes down to under $10 per one.
Right. But now you have 48.
And then there's a huge drop. This is the biggest drop between this $479, $589, $72 for.
That's
They're
the
much
one to
cheaper.
get, is what you're
That's
saying.
how they get
But
you.
that's the ones that you get if you're going to keep it in your games.
Jumbo
right?
seismic
That's
captain.
But even at that, they're not. You have to go with the horizontal storage and be careful.
They do flatten, but that's it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to keep anything in it.
But here's the thing: if you're going to keep it in your game, I guess you'd have to unflatten it each time. So then they're just game specific. It's not like they're going to hold it. So back to you're putting it in baggies,
You're not-
taking them out, and then
They're in
it's
you
not
got to bag
storage.
things or find another solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think again, this is not the kind of thing I keep in a game, but they are cool, and I wouldn't necessarily buy them. But if
If you were
they
gifted
were
some.
cheaper or somebody gave it to me as a gift, I think I would use it. That's the point.
Yeah.
Okay, that I agree on.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Man, did all my...
So something weird happened with the internet.
Yeah, you gave
The
us
last
a bunch
half
of
hour,
kick
yeah.
tracks or something.
All right,
Yeah, you're
Mysthea and
linked
Icalon solo expansion. So these are both games from Tabula Games. I don't even know how I could explain the theming of these. They're cool games with these weird, odd fantasy sci-fi world, but they're very much Euro-style games. And this lets you play them solo, which I guess I never noticed you couldn't, but I often skip that part of these kind of games. So,
Mike
Sure.
DeLisio says he loves this.
does he?
I don't know. I'm going to assume.
Has he played any of these? I don't think he has, right?
I think he keeps saying, I really need to play these someday. I'm
We
pretty
have
sure
some.
you all, I'm the only person who's played either of these, right?
I haven't
I
played
believe
them.
so, yeah. They sound neat, like the Icalon one. That giant thing right there on the cover is this homunculus walking around, and you as the humans like run up to its feet and like harvest his crystal feet fungus growth.
Oh my
You're
gosh,
like,
I
like,
love-
I need some of this. It's a weird setting.
Yeah, but it
Oh, I
is
love
weird.
that.
It's very, it's close to Dune almost, but like in that weird sci-fi.
Oh.
But the games themselves are about get resources, collect them,
Euro
and
games,
avoid
yeah.
monsters. But there is monster fighting, especially in Mysthea, which I like better than Icalon. I bet
Okay.
Chris would like Icalon better.
Maybe. It sounds like at least a neat something different than like let's go around this old
I
European
agree.
village and get grain and potatoes.
I'd rather get grain and potatoes than some giant's foot fungus.
Oh, I completely.
Have you ever tasted
disagree.
a giant's foot fungus?
All right, here's the biggest Kickstarter of the week, which surprised no one. Hey, by the way, did you ever buy the game?
Have
Did
you
you play
played
it?
it? But you own it.
I will.
Z's
I
been
will.
debating for weeks whether to buy Elden Ring or not.
You play this, right?
I got it on sale for
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Do you play this?
I've never.
Oh, okay.
I haven't.
I did not want the game at all, Elden Ring, but I finally broke down and bought it because I kept seeing videos about this awesome open world, and because I don't like the dark Bloodborne, that has no interest to me, and fighting bosses over and over again. But man, do I love Elden Ring. That being said, this game is making almost $3 million. It's going to hit $3 million. 48 hours
Oh,
to
yeah,
go. The miniatures here look amazing.
Ooh, that looks cool. I like that picture.
Oh, is that enough stuff though? I mean,
Simon looked at this and they're like, that's cute.
hold my millions.
Remember when I said restraint earlier? There's some exceptions.
I worry about games, board games that is, that are based on difficult video games that are almost known for being difficult video games. We've had this in the past.
Yeah.
Because it seems like their main gimmick is you're going to die a lot. And I think that's acceptable. I won't say great, but I think it's acceptable in a video game. I think it feels terrible in a board game.
I agree, but it also... So I played this company, Steamforged, their first game, Dark Souls.
Which
They
is,
made Dark
again,
Souls
from the
the
same
board game.
company.
Same
yeah.
company, great miniatures. But the other thing is, there's a lot of differences between playing a solo game and playing a game with other people. So if I'm playing Elden Ring, and I feel like, you know what, I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes chopping up little soldiers and saving up money. I'll do that. I can kind of turn my brain on like neutral. I'm playing that. I'm having a good time. I might be watching a movie on another screen, whatever.
What? Okay, you do that. That's true.
Really?
But whatever. But I mean, but
I'm an animal.
everybody can, when you're like leveling up and grinding, you can kind of do that. You get into like a zone. That is not fun in a multiplayer game.
Right, for
Right.
sure.
And in Dark Souls, you had to do that. You kept fighting these little dudes and fighting and fighting and fighting. And finally you're like, okay, I think we have enough stuff. Let's go fight the boss. And the boss fights were a little interesting, but I don't want to grind for 2 hours.
With a group,
And
right.
With a group.
the board game
That's-
actually wanted you to do that
Yes.
too. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So that being said, I downloaded the rule book for this and read through parts of it. It was shorter than I thought.
Okay.
For the first time ever, I recognized everything they were talking about from the video game. I was like, yes, I know what to do. But I can't tell how the game plays from the rule book because they keep referring to a lot of cards and stuff.
Okay.
And I don't see
Okay,
them.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm super suspicious. I think Steamforged Games makes some of the best miniatures on the market and some of the worst board games on the market.
Can I see some of the miniatures?
No, there's not any miniatures in the game, Camilla.
Because Steamforged has also done, what's the last one they just did? Horizon Zero Dawn. And those miniatures look amazing. And
Sure.
I've heard nothing good about that game.
They do a lot of video game to board game.
That's all they
that
do, I
one.
think, right? I mean,
Oh, they have a miniature line of some miniatures.
yeah, they're all
game.
Mario miniatures.
Oh, did you see the new trailer?
There's a new trailer for Mario.
There is.
Okay, I guess I'll
Like,
watch
can
that
we-
with my son. All right, they redid Rivet Wars, which is
Oh,
actually
they
a good
took
game.
that back. That was
So that's
from,
from Simon.
yeah,
Euthia, the Generia, remember?
Mysthea, yeah.
No.
Wait.
They did Resident Evil, the board game, Monster Hunter,
Bard Song.
That's
Bard
what I was
Song, which
thinking of.
we did not particularly enjoy. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I didn't hear good things about. I
Devil
haven't
May
heard good things
Cry.
about God Tier. I've heard good things in all these things about the minis. Again, everyone says their minis are great, and from looking at them, and like we have Horizon Zero Dawn here, I'm seriously considering throwing the game away and keeping the miniatures because I like the miniatures that much.
What can you do with them?
I'm gonna get them painted maybe and put them out as like
Just like,
set
oh, that's cool.
pieces.
Are they like
Knickknacks and
big?
stuff.
Some of them are some of the big monsters from the game.
Interesting. Oh, I like that idea.
Like this is like I would be tempted to do that with this. This pumpkin head monster is
said,
one of my
what
favorite
is that?
monsters. The
That's
first time I beat this thing, I was so proud of myself.
Hold on.
Oh, that's
okay.
from the
Humble
video
brag much. The first time I beat it.
Yeah.
It's like a little enemy.
Oh, okay.
it's not a boss, okay? Well, there is bosses I think that are like that, but they also
What is he wearing? What's that thing on his head? A basket?
It's a giant
his head.
shell. Once you beat him, you get that helmet for yourself.
Really?
It's the strongest helmet in the game and also makes you really heavy and you cannot do anything.
Wait, we talking about the pumpkin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
not
helmet?
Yeah.
That's not his head.
I don't know what's in his head. I just
wearing
kill
a
him.
basket. His head is in the basket.
And you don't like break it to kill him?
No, you
He's
open
really
it.
hard.
How do you kill him?
Well, he's slow, so you just have to dodge him, come up and stab him from behind. It's like a,
And then you
I
have
don't
to
know.
do that 97 times.
Probably.
right?
How many
Oh.
times did you die?
And it doesn't
A
break his
lot.
pumpkin.
Anyway, they have all these. These are your starting classes. They call them. You're called Tarnished. The Vagabond. This is the one I play. The Samurai. The Astrologer. The Prophet. Wolves. I can kill wolves. Rats. I can kill rats.
Giant rat?
Sometimes. Fanged imps. These things
Oh,
are
I
hard.
like
You think those
them.
things will be
Look at
easy?
them.
Actually, in this game, nothing's really easy. Though I've died more to small guys than bosses almost because you just get loose after a while. Like, I'll kill that guy, I'll kill that guy. Then 5 of them show up and
Yeah.
they kill you. Ooh, I really like how this looks. The
Demi-humans?
bats. I've killed all that stuff.
Having
Those guys are hard.
Having not played the video game, like I just look at all this.
Oh,
and
I like those. What are those? Sorry, I'm sorry, Chris.
Those
I got
are
excited.
trolls. They're
What did
awesome.
you say, having not played?
having not played, I look at this like, oh, this looks really amazing, and I'm sure that the game is not going to be fun.
That's
or
one of the
for me
creepiest.
or something.
Are you also in that camp? Again, I took a risk on this because I might regret it.
You
Because I've
backed
played.
this?
No, not this. The video game.
game.
You crazy? It's like $1 million. The video game. I got the video game over Black Friday. And you've played some of the other games from this company, from software?
No. So video game wise, yeah, I haven't played any of this stuff, and I might like the open world nature of this one.
That's kind of, I'm taking a risk on the video game for the open world thing, and
Yeah.
because Tom really likes it, and I assume you're not a fantastic video gamer. I might be wrong.
That is true. That is true.
And you got pretty far in this game. So I'm like,
With
okay,
a little
maybe
help from my friends.
yeah, but maybe I can do it. You know what I mean? Because I've played Bloodborne and one of the
Dark
something
Souls
Souls,
and-
like something Souls 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Both of those are like I have to be feeling particularly masochistic to be like, let me fire this up again. They just punish you. They're just mean. It sucks to just get picked on. I'm hoping this is not that way.
I'm going to give you a little bit of heads up. See this thing?
Yeah.
You're going to fight that like 4 minutes in the game.
Okay.
Unless you're like some sort of Superman. You're going to die, but don't feel bad.
Okay.
He's just going to kill you. It's supposed to happen.
Got it.
Spoiler. Ooh, oh, what's he eating?
No,
My
he's not
hopes and
eating. What he
dreams.
did here, Camilla, is he ripped the head off of a dragon, stuck the head onto his arm, and is now using it as a flamethrower.
What?
I'm not kidding. That is what is going on here.
That is amazing.
That's how biology.
It's a whole lot less amazing when it happens in the middle of a fight and you think you got this guy down. You're like, yeah, he's going down. He's like, I am not. You're like,
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Oh, that's so weird that you love that. But all right, let's move on. Futmes,
No, let's go back.
the most ruthless, I say, football game ever.
Football!
I have to say, this one, the first impression was, oh, this could be absolutely terrible. Reading through the rest of the page, I'm curious. I like the aesthetic, right? I like that it comes with these little goals you have to roll the dice into, right? I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but it looks like there's some card drafting and some trading out, team management kind of stuff. And then it's a dice fest. But it doesn't look cynical. It doesn't look like that Panda game that's like, ha ha ha.
I agree, yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is a kind of silly game that's taking itself seriously, and I don't mean that as a negative way, but it really does look like they kind of thought the whole thing out, thought about the whole football season, managing your team, building your team, recruiting from other teams. I think that's more of what has me concerned. Going back to like the Panda, it's a little bit of like, oh, you have that good player, oh, I'm going to recruit him away from you. No, you're not, because I have this card, and it just seems a lot of like, it's thematically probably fits, especially if you really like getting into that, and it really kind of encapsulates that whole season feel and team management as well as having the excitement of the games. It just felt a little too gimmicky for me, I think, is ultimately where I fell on it.
Yeah, to me this looks like something of a game for football fans as opposed to something of a football theme for game fans.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So again, the game here feels, I don't want to say secondary, but it's the second thing they thought of. The first one was football.
Right.
And everything seems to be driven at that. And so knowing yourself, this might be absolutely up your alley. If you don't really care about mechanisms and originality and blah, 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 all these things we tend to get hung up on. You like the theme. That probably will do it for you.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks like much of a game, but clearly these people are passionate about football, man, because, wow, there's a lot in here.
I wish
think so, yeah.
It also sounds interesting where, because when two people, like if we're four playing and Chris and I are having a match right now, the two of you are like betting on the game. So I did think that was interesting, that you still have involvement even if you're not the one that are currently
might
playing
be.
in the match. It
There's
might
been
be
games where I've bet on other people fighting and you're like, well, Wonderland's War is a good example.
Okay.
After a while, I was like, you know what, that's my least favorite rule in Wonderland's
I guess
War,
that is
'cause
true, yeah.
You're like, ooh, I bet. Now please spend your 5 minutes doing this, and it's like we can get back to the game.
That's true. I guess it depends on how that, and can you bet at any time versus, whatever.
The artwork here looks like an 90s video game where you can change the character's hair.
Yes.
Whoever this artist is, I wish they would not. They are cutting and pasting themselves. Look at these two people. They have the
two
exact
people,
same
it's the
eyebrows.
same. Yeah, it's character.
Everything is the same. They
Right.
switched the hair. I don't like that. That feels lazy.
Sure.
It feels generic.
Carnicero.
A meter. What does that mean?
Butcher.
But yeah, that
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
they have the 6 noses and they're like, pick which nose you
it
want.
does
Pick
feel
your
like
ears.
that.
It's a bit like making a
Right.
me on this.
Am I the only person who gets really bored halfway through modern day character creation? When you start going through, you pick your nose, they're like, pick the length, pick the width, and after I do all that, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And they're like, now you're on the neck. I'm like, oh, are you kidding?
I know.
It's going to take all day.
I love character creation, but I get that sometimes they overdo it.
It's like-
when I start like moving a slider this way and that way, and I'm like, I can't see what's changing. I do it again. I don't know what's happening. Then I turn the person slightly, and I'm like, oh, his cheek is getting slightly puffier. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to the eye doctor. A or B? A or B? 1 or 2? And I'm like, I don't know. It's a nose. Like, it's very overwhelming to me.
All right, Super Dark.
Super dark.
A game about money and politics.
Not what I thought this was going to look like.
Super hot.
Like you look at so far, it's still just been like, oh, there's gonna be Cards Against Humanity. Got it.
No, look at the color there. It's not
Hi.
Super Dark at all.
You got super light.
It's full of colors. It's cheerful.
This does not seem interesting to
This-
me, but I don't care for this theme, and it's a social deduction game, which they're saying is the new thing in social deduction games. There's a few quotes. There's one quote which I thought was a weird one from the co-designer of Ultimate Werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that call me.
Werewolf is a public domain game, like a parlor game. And so I'm guessing if you are the co-designer to Ultimate Werewolf, you've made some roles for it. That must be it.
Of course, or you've
Oh,
slightly changed the rules, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would tag myself as that. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for this one. There's a lot of games like this, and this theme is certainly not the one to bring me back to the fold of social deduction.
Yeah.
There better be some werewolves.
I like politics and I like social deduction a bit. I don't think I've ever thought, hey, they should be mixed.
Super dark.
This is one of those that I guess I'd try. I don't know. Like the idea of you're not sure which people are part of the super PACs and therefore they can corrupt the candidates. And a hook that they said was once you figure out who the people are, you still have to outmaneuver them.
Right.
And I'm like, sounds interesting in theory. I don't know if I would love it.
Because you know who they are, but you also have to recognize they still have influence. So just knowing them, they have that influence, they have that money, they have that power, so it does come down to the maneuvering the mechanics. I just don't know if that's there in a social deduction. It seemed a little bit of a disconnect. Maybe to play it would make it make more sense, but I have no interest in politics and the nitty and gritty and the backstabbing of it. That's like not
super
a
dark.
theme.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing that interests me at all. It's probably my top or lowest 3
Themes?
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
I
Sure.
By
do
the way,
not wanna
it
get
always
that.
bugs me. And here, we're a group of 5 passionate game designers. Stop using the word passionate to describe yourself. I hope you like designing games.
Right.
I mean, duh. I don't be like, I'm a passionate reviewer. I'm just a reviewer.
Yeah.
I'm a blasé game designer.
Godsforge and expansion. So this is from Atlas Games.
Blasé Games. That's a good
I-
name for a company.
I like
Say,
it.
Blasé Games.
I've
Yeah.
played Godsforge, the core game. Notice.
Would you say it's a passionate game?
Well, let's see if there's a quote from me here.
Let's
No, but there is a quote from the designer of the game. He says his favorite part is hearing all the dice crash against the table at the same time. I would figure his favorite
During
part
the
would
forge roll.
it's so this game has a very weird combo of basically upgrading and then luck.
Okay.
And then a lot of the cards look like CCG cards and all that stuff.
Okay.
And also luck. And So I guess I can't really recommend it. I was surprised it had this many people. I think people are attracted by the, in my opinion, nice artwork. I like.
Looks great.
Yeah,
It looks so sharp and different, at least on the cover and stuff. You look at some of the cards.
These cards look a little complex, right? Mm-hmm. They are a little complex, but the game isn't complex, really.
Okay.
And I think that's a mismatch in a sense. It just doesn't work. So I have no interest in this, but maybe other people do. This one just kind of really fell flat for me.
I know someone who does, Mr. Stern, the designer of Godsforge.
He's got a favorite part.
Oh, I like that.
I love that. That's the image they went for with shipping and tax.
That's fantastic.
Is that guy giving you the finger?
Don't think about it too much.
Finger.
Think about it too much. So let's move on.
And a friendly local
Friendly local-
retailer? Like, did you guys think about the pictures you're picking here? I feel that guy's like, hey, you want to hear about my D&D character? All right. Where's my ride? Okay, so the picture on this one, if you just show me that picture, I'd be like, meh. But the tagline here, where your app isn't working, and it's a cooperative deduction game for 2 to 7 players to figure out where your ride is, that's interesting to me, that theme.
Right, and I thought that this was interesting. The hook kind of being one of them can only communicate in emojis. And so you're trying to like read into what the emoji means. And, I think in the same kind of way of like Dixit, they give one word and you try to pick the picture. I think it's kind of a take on that. I thought it was kind of a modern interest for a party game, was kind of an interesting take on it.
It took me, they definitely took me on a journey. I looked at it and immediately thought, hard pass. This looks terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what kind of game is this? Let me see if I can figure this out. Oh, it's one of those dwindle the choices kind of games. Like one key, like Similo, like that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's the same game. It's 9 things or however many. I'm trying to get down to 1, which you randomly picked. And I do text messages.
Yes.
And you give me back, knowing the thing, an emoji.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll eliminate this one. I think this is not it. That's the game.
Right.
It's a game we've seen before, with the gimmick being the theme here and that limit on communication.
Well, that's not too far off from, what's the deduction game, social deduction game you guys like a lot, with the murder.
Hong
Kong, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, Deception, Murder, you're limited on your communication to those where you're going to put the things.
It's similar. I mean, this might be a fun, silly one. I don't know. It's one of those that sounds like it could be funny, might fall flat.
Yeah. I think bringing up the Deception Murder in Hong Kong, which is a bigger game, this is like, simplified party game, lighter, quicker, which I think is interesting. Yeah, so talking about that journey, I think this was a very, I was going to say uphill, but I don't know. I don't know how you'd say it. It's a very positive journey. It got better the more I was looking into this.
It had a reverse difficulty curve.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for.
I wish it looked nicer.
Especially the cover, because the card, it looks like a simplified GPS map.
Right.
But that cover is... I had the exact same journey. Pass, read through it. Oh, interest.
It's from Slugfest Games. They're best known for Red Dragon Inn.
Also, Slugfest. It's time for a new logo.
I don't know. I don't hate their logo. All right.
I hate their logo. If that wasn't clear.
Maple Valley, or Creature Comforts. This is a sequel to Creature Comforts, Maple Valley. Creature Comforts just came out early this year. In fact, I played it on a cruise, I think, was the first time. This looks like if it's a sequel, it's a very different game, it looks like, but you're still collecting these uber cute animals.
Is this supposed to be simpler? You think? Because everything art-wise looks more kiddish. I was almost thinking, is this my first Creature Comfort? Like not that simple.
Don't call it that.
My
Sorry,
Don't think about it. Don't think about it too much, Chris.
My Little Pony.
My little creature. I agree with you that it looks like more children animals, right?
Yeah.
Like in Creature Comforts, they look like little grown-up anthropomorphic little animals. In this one, they kind of look like they're all children.
Yeah.
The cards are simple too.
So I don't know. I haven't played the other one though, so I couldn't tell you from just looking.
About throwing a party.
This looks easier or not.
It might be. It's hard to tell. It does look.
These are all beautiful.
They are.
Is-
This is where we
this-
need Mike, though.
This looks so amazing.
What do we need Mike for?
This is, I mean, he loves creature comfort. This
Oh,
game
'cause
is
we have
like
the game
right
choice.
up his.
Oh,
right
okay,
up
I
his
got it.
alley.
I
That's
got
what
it.
I'm
Okay,
saying.
hold
Like,
on.
we need him to answer that.
I really liked it solo.
But have you seen those
I'm Mike
screen
Delisio.
printed minis, Mike? Or not minis, screen printed resources.
Oh, I've seen it.
You better believe it.
All right, well, Creature Comforts is a game I like a lot. I haven't, this one looks great. I love the cover, like the way it looks. So, and Kids Table Board Games has uber good productions.
These are so
Yeah,
nice.
I thought this one was really cute too. And you're kind of going on your journey. You have to have the right card to go on the right type of path to get to the place to take the action for some contract fulfillment. I thought this one looked really cute. Again, I don't know if it's easier necessarily. It still seemed just looking at it again, I don't know that I'd be like, oh, that's obviously a kid's game. You know what I mean? I think it has a little bit more than maybe at first just looking at the artwork and stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's okay to have some more in-depth games that look like that. But yeah, I think it looks good.
I agree. I'm really attracted to this. I think that this one has such a great presence and look. And it looks approachable, but not dumb, but
Yeah.
like very welcoming and approachable.
All right, Tiny Epic Crimes.
Looks so.
Well, we've already,
far
okay,
from
so we
approachable.
talked about this in the news when they announced this, and those of us in the news, well, maybe it was just me, I thought this is one of the worst covers I've seen in a long time. You did not think so.
I didn't think it was one of the worst covers I've seen in a long time. No.
It's just a mismatch to me.
It's
Some
a-
of this stuff would be okay by itself, but by shoving it all together, this game, if it wasn't for the Tiny Epic part, I know that's a solid company game one game. If it wasn't for that, and it was just showed the Epic Crimes or whatever, I'd be like, pass.
Oh my
I
gosh.
would think this game is bad, straight off from that cover.
Yeah.
The composition of that cover is it's so
Yeah.
confusing.
Again, the mismatch of the three fonts, but then also the mismatch of perspective where you have the background scene, then he's bigger. It's just a lot of kind of almost distortion. You know what I mean? It's kind of how I feel looking at it. I'm like, oh, we're close, we're far. 3 different fonts. It's just a very busy hodgepodge collage kind
Like a
of thing.
bad movie poster.
Right.
It's doing well. It has 6,600 backers, so that's not a bad setup here. And again, once I get away from the cover, I don't mind, although, again, it looks like they're using different art styles, which is throwing me off.
This whole red reveal thing they're really pushing, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
They
also,
invented the decoder system.
oh, you already were yelling about this. The
I was, because I'm still infuriated by it. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Tiny Epic decoder system.
This is...
Definitely not in Captain Crunchbox in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
sorry.
that's
The
what it
whole
seems.
red piece of plastic that you put over something and it eliminates the red, so therefore you can see the other color. You're still...
It's
it's
proprietary
in the
software.
title. It's like they're pushing it that much, and it's in the title. Tiny Epic Crimes with red reveal. Are you kidding
Right.
me? Is anyone excited about that? That is so old. What's
Also,
next?
there's got to be a way to increase this technology by this point.
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
after a while, if you're good enough, you can look at these and see these things without using the red device.
Yeah, it's kind of once your eyes adjust to it, you can definitely see it.
I just don't
Yeah,
get it.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't get it.
Alex.
It's so ridiculous to me. I don't know. I mean, do it. That's fine. If that's part of your game, just don't push it this much. You seem desperate.
Yeah.
This is not that clever.
Yeah, use it as a mechanism or a part of the game, but not the selling point of the game because it's not new. It's like
Just
we've
doesn't
seen that
seem
we've done
clever.
this.
Yeah, I don't
I've
know.
eaten cereal over this before. Yeah.
Also, this whole, again, you got to be really careful here when you're like innovative bullet dice. Bullet dice existed before Tiny Epic Western. I know that Game Salute was making them way back in the day. Anyway, I don't care about any of that. This game looks fine. I'm a little concerned, as I often am with the Tiny Epic games, that I'm looking at all this going, how did you fit all that in that box? But it looks kind of cool. I'm not a huge fan of the art. For some reason, this art, I don't like this perspective that they show with the weapons. It's like the scene from The Matrix where you're staring down the barrel of the gun.
Got it. Got it.
But
Oh.
I don't know if I want to see it on every single card. I do like the tokens,
Sure.
Those white ones look
and
really
I do
good.
like the bullet dice. Whatever else. Again, Tiny Epic, they have for us, they've had a hit and miss. Some of their games we've really liked. Even this here, look at these 6 characters. First of all, if I showed you those characters and told you nothing else, would you think it was a crime game?
No, it looks like
No,
a supernatural kind of vibe to some of those people.
Yeah,
at
like
least.
the top guy
The
is...
last one, the Duchess, is clearly from a vampiric game.
So's the guy right before,
So's
Richmond
the-
the Rake.
Yeah, he's definitely
And then the
Dracula,
jester, the jester up there. There's that in that world, magic exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just has a
Yeah.
weird
Well,
look.
except Caleb the Colonel is visiting us from Germany.
That one looks like a war game, and then the one right before is the only one that maybe the Plunderer maybe is from some sort of
Some crime game.
crime game. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
I
right?
don't know. No, this one does not. I'm not a big fan of the Tiny Epic games. This is one of the least interesting. I like the sound of the theme, actually. When this was announced, I'm like, ooh, crimes. That's better than fantasy. They've done a lot that are just like space.
Yeah.
Be more specific. Fantasy. Be more specific. Crimes. That's specific, especially in this time period. But the game doesn't look as interesting as a lot of those other ones.
Yeah.
It's still doing well. 6,600 backers, nothing to scoff at, and the fans of this series really do like them.
I'll wait until someone says, hey, the cooperative mode is worth trying, or the competitive. A lot of Tiny Epics have been doing that too. So I'll wait,
That is true.
and if someone tells me one mode is good, I'll try it.
I think that's good. That's a good point. This is one that I wouldn't be opposed to trying with a little more information, kind of knowing what I'm getting into.
All right, Mystery Pieces by Odd Pieces Series 2. Now, this feels like we just talked about this last week, but not quite. But this is a puzzle where you see the before and the after. Again, this is not new. I've seen this a long time ago, although these characters all look like they came out of Adventure Time.
There's multiple different artists, because there's a variety of puzzles that you can get. So, I mean, they really went out of their way to find artists with different styles and stuff. So, yeah, some of them are very Adventure Time-y, kind of that Cartoon Network animated style. Some of them are a little bit more impressionistic, even. I think what they're pushing a lot is this one here.
Have you ever done one of these puzzles where it's a different picture than what it shows you?
Nope.
Because I feel like that, I already find puzzles to be kind of hard enough.
It's weird. I can't use the picture on the box as a guide. I thought that was the point.
And again,
Sorry. I mean, it is at a higher level a guide. Like, there's a clock tower, but there's different people in it. There's different things happening. The time is at a different thing, so it's still a guide.
well, like what he was
Yeah.
looking at right there, you can see there's a baby carriage in it. And so maybe on that, you'd be able to at least get the baby carriage and, see the differences. There's going to be kind of a guide to it, but it's not going to be exact. Like, I'm looking for skulls next to a purple piece, something like that.
That's how I do it.
That kind of stuff. But they're also very mismatched shapes as well, I was seeing. This is a one that I think is really cool.
Okay.
I really like that idea of the time lapse of it. I love that idea of doing a puzzle and then using the puzzle to solve a mystery, something like that. I love that idea. I just personally don't love puzzles. So this is one of those like, man, I think this is so cool and I wish I was into it. But puzzles are just not my thing.
You are absolutely encapsulating what I feel about it. I think this is so cool. It kind of gives me a vibe of like Micro Macro.
Yeah.
Where you are building up the puzzle and then you're kind of looking around for the clues. It gives you some booklets that say, try to explain these different mysteries with what's going on in the picture. You can compare the before and the after stuff. So there's like a lot of really cool mechanisms.
Right.
But unfortunately, I have to do a puzzle.
Right.
And I don't like 1,000-piece puzzles.
No.
If this was like 300-piece,
Right.
There's some puzzle people watching right now going, what a child.
But I mean, again,
I'm with you. 500 or less.
Just knowing that. But it's interesting, Chrissy here says in the comments that she backed these and really thought they were really nice quality. And she does like puzzles. And so that speaks to it, I think, because of someone who doesn't enjoy puzzles, I'd be like, it's a puzzle. I got frustrated after 10 minutes and went and ate some Doritos. That's
you're
what
also
I do.
encapsulating my opinion on puzzles.
All right, last game today. I think it's the last game. Yeah, it is. Fit to Print. So this is about, it's sort of a polyomino game, but you're building a newspaper page, which, by the way, great theme. I really love that theme.
Beautiful theme, yeah. Beautiful artwork.
Mhm, cool, really cool.
Really nice company. They've done some fantastic games. This is a neat period setting meets fantasy with the animals. Everything here. I was like, oh wow, this looks cute. I love the idea. I love what's going on. Oh, it's a real-time game. I'm out.
So
That actually sounded like you were the bell knocked you out like the red light.
but see, I wonder though if you would like this.
I would
because,
not. Thank you for coming to
Hold
my
on.
TED Talk.
let me come to your defense against you. I wonder because it has the same, the real-time element is similar to Factory Funner, where there's that moment where it's the real time. It's the real time, and you're taking everything, and you decide when, okay, I'm good. And then the real time stops, and it's a puzzle that you have to fit together everything that you chose. So you have that real time. It's real time in your selection, but then puzzly after in order to live with your choices.
17 points to Camilla. Z, your rebuttal.
That's true. Would you like to talk to the witness?
Also,
Roland
cute
friends.
artwork, great theme.
Not looking good for Garcia so far.
No, I don't know. I might like it. I think the having to do it's a big round instead of like take one thing and fit it.
That makes sense. Okay.
Take one thing and fit it and look at it and go, okay, I see where I'm at. I see what I kind of want. Take one thing. This is like take as many as you think you can fit. Yeah. Try to eyeball it, which I don't mind spatial awareness type puzzles. That's fun. And then I sit here and do my own thing. I'm worried that part of it also has a little bit of a city building vibe to it. With like this kind of thing wants to be next to this kind of thing. This one benefits from not being around these city building stuff. That's what I call that, no matter what the theme is. I don't love that stuff. I might like it. I'm not. This one sounded and looked so much more interesting before I knew how it worked.
So would you be interested in playing it because they also have that turn mode where it's not real time? Would you be interested in playing that mode?
Was it the same thing? I take one, you take one, I take one, you take one, and I still have to eyeball it?
I don't know.
Missed that.
I don't know, but
see
I
that.
didn't look into that mode because I like real time. I just did see that it has that
It
mode.
probably sounds like it would be
I was
slow,
like,
honestly.
Maybe. Okay.
If the game's
I wonder.
designed to be real time, I'll play it real time. Again, I had the opposite effect here to the stupid Where's My Ride game.
Got
Which
it.
at first I was like, ugh!
Yeah.
And then as I learned more, I'm like, okay, this might be a silly kind of party game. This one I saw and I'm like, what? Flat out? Fit to print? This is beautiful. Not for me,
Got
I think.
it. I think I had kind of a reverse bell curve, I guess, or not reverse bell
Reverse
curve.
difficulty.
What is that?
Difficulty.
No, the well curve because it goes down and comes back up. I don't know.
well, actually.
The well, where I was really excited. I liked everything. I liked it, and then I saw real time. I was like, or I saw real time. I was like, oh, I'm interested. Then I saw the competitive because real time competitive I don't like. But then I saw that it was. You do the real time, and then you have a puzzle phase after. I was like, oh, okay, I'm back in. I think that spatial awareness element is really neat. I do like that puzzly nature with the spatial awareness. Not push your luck, but kind of that guessing. Can I do it? How much more can I get?
Yeah,
I
that's
really like
interesting.
that. And so this one, I think it took me on that journey, but I was like, out. Oh wait, I'm back in. So I am excited about this one.
I will say this briefly.
What do you think, Chris?
No, just
Sorry.
briefly to say this.
Sorry,
I will
Chris.
say this. Looking at all those games up there, I'm glad it's different. Because I'll tell you, Calico, Cascadia, Verdant, those are clearly related.
Yeah, but they definitely. This is a mic drop when they're like, "Oh, by the way, these are some games we worked on."
No,
Yeah, I know.
absolutely.
You're like,
no.
"Oh, yeah, okay, well,
No, I
back
get
in."
that. That's wonderful.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm glad that this is a game, even if it ends up not being for me, very different from everything that's up there.
I didn't realize they did wormholes
So,
too.
go ahead. What were you
You're
going to say? You like this?
Now you and Camille covered everything.
Pretty much. I think it looks great. Similar type of thing. Oh, real time. Oh, I don't know. But you know what? I like a lot of real time games, and so I'm probably the person who has like the least hesitancy with this one.
No, what are you talking about? I love real time games. Like the Race for the Galaxy type nonsense. I love that stuff.
Yeah, Galaxy
Race for the
Galaxy.
Galaxy
Race for
Trucker.
Yeah.
I'm drawing all the
All right,
deck is mine.
where we got a video or no?
We do have one.
All right, well, let's jump to. Is it Mark?
Here's Mark.
It's Mark.
Street!
This spotlight is brought to you by AEG. Time to shake that city. Welcome, city planners. Can you design the best city block using patterns from the new and exciting Cube Shaker? You'll be placing a mix of building tiles to help you grow the thriving city. The best design wins the game. Shake That City is a family puzzly tile laying game and is played over 15 rounds. Each round, the active player will shake the Cube Shaker and press the slider to drop 9 cubes in a 3x3 pattern. That player will pick one of the building colors available from the pattern and place the corresponding building tile onto their player board. The other players then simultaneously pick any other available building color except the one that the active player picked. Along the way, you'll be building roads, factories, homes, parks, and shops. At the end of the game, players will earn victory points for tile placement combinations and for the completed bonus point tiles around the edge of the board. The player with the most victory points wins. For more information, please check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
Now it's shake the city.
Take me down to the shake of that city where the grass is green and the cubes are pretty.
All right, you can email me weird Kickstarter projects at tom@dicetower.com or strange or interesting ones. Here we go.
Okay, what do we got, Tom?
First we got Indiegogo. Mike's not here, which is sad.
I know, this is
Gosh,
sad.
this is so Mike.
Scubic.
I
I'm
needed.
not for Mike.
That's a terrible name.
Let
by the
me.
way.
Scubic? You know it.
You two kept saying that the campaigns took you on a journey. So let me channel my inner Mike here. What's the deal with litter boxes on the front Kickstarter?
Where is Mike from?
Seinfeld?
What?
What is this?
That was possibly the worst impersonation
That is
I've ever
quite- yeah.
seen.
That was
I mean, that was
I-
commendable.
that was Mike to a T.
That was-
Bang, 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 bang.
All right. Anyway,
I liked it. I mean, I
Wow,
liked it.
that was-
I understand he does have a lot of beef with
is this
litter boxes.
underwater? What is
What?
with the scuba?
Scubic. It's
Cubic, what's that
cubic.
mean?
Cubic.
And then the S is for self-cleaning.
Oh, okay.
There's
I don't
a
understand
that might be true, actually.
That might be true. Sadly, that might be true.
there's another campaign
I
that
love
we're
the
gonna look
Sarah
at after
McLachlan
this that does a
picture.
similar thing where I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
I know. What are you naming this?
What if your cat gets caught in this? Is it?
The cat's not going to be in there.
What?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
But also.
I don't have a cat. I have no interest in having a cat. I'm very allergic.
Yep.
This looks good to me.
What? The fact that it's gigantic, I think that's where I was like, why do you want a gigantic litter box? I get it, cats need more room, that kind of stuff, but that's like not a selling point.
If I had like a particularly fat cat, I get
Valid
this for my big
space.
boy. I mean, who's a big boy? I got you a big
I mean,
toilet.
yeah, maybe if you have a Maine Coon, but like other than that,
Does it work automatically or you have to press a button?
You have to
can you
press the
train
cat.
the cat to press the button?
That's right, the cat's like, all done, flush.
Also, I like how they have like 6 of them, so you can like stack them and set them up, you know, so you can have a cat litter box tower.
No, that's the
And
one
they-
thing I thought was weird.
And they sell it that it's like, it's low because you don't want the cats to work for it. But then they stack them on top of each other. And you're like,
I know, it's like, you mean cat, you poop on the top
yeah.
floor.
I'm gonna call my plumber. Excuse me. I'd like a double-decker toilet, please.
right.
I really thought that was weird. One thing I never thought of combining was like a litter box and IKEA shelving. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait,
Does it
why?
fit in the, does it fit in the calyx?
This is gonna be IKEA next year, but it's gonna be called something.
I
Actually,
know, something
Scubic
I'm
might work.
Scubic,
Scubic.
yeah.
Maybe they're like maybe the IKEA will think this is one of those
Maybe.
made up words.
That could be. That could be.
The day I go to game night at one of y'all's houses and you have a cat litter box in the calyx shelf, I'm out.
Ooh.
Oh,
Pips, that's a good thing. I said maybe the S is for Schrodinger.
possibly.
I accept that.
Oh man, yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
man.
This looks. Look,
can
we've seen
also-
way dumber ones. I will give him that. Like we saw that one that looked like the lunar lander.
Yeah.
There's a lot of worse.
Oh,
This
looking
must
ones.
be a
Giant
problem
one?
because we're seeing one every month
Yeah.
or so,
Remember?
another kitty litter thing.
Remember the one that like dried your cat for you?
All right,
That was a good one.
moving on. The fourth option, eating utensil. They could have used a way better picture here because it looks like he's missing the kid's mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
they've run
true.
this Kickstarter twice, and the picture on the first one
they
was the
have?
same picture.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, click on
They've
the.
done this multiple
yeah.
times?
This is the second time they've done two things.
Fifth option, you eating utensil.
There. To create it. Same picture on the first time around.
No,
yeah.
they zoomed in a bit.
Canceled.
Oh, that's
Oh.
a difference. That's the moneymaker.
They have a better logo now. And by a better logo, I mean they have a logo now.
FO. I wouldn't use it as my logo actually, but
Yeah. So it's basically a pair of chopsticks that are attached to one. It's kids' chopsticks.
It's American chopsticks, yeah.
Yeah, these already exist.
It is, to clarify,
Also, that's
toddler chopsticks.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what
I
it
have a
is.
set of these at home, and
Now-
it has a cute penguin on the top for my
Yeah.
dad.
Right, yeah.
That's it. That's
She
what
has
this
also
is.
outgrown them.
I love the
Oh,
picture,
really?
though.
That's
There's a video of a guy doing the whole, like, has this ever happened to you?
Oh,
And he is licking his
Oh, yeah.
entire,
He's
I mean, he
definitely
needs
like-
kitty litter cubes. Because he is licking the entirety of his surface. It's awful.
Oh, they show someone eating buffalo wings.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Like he has no
No human training.
no
cottage
human
cheese?
training.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Again, this is not
No.
something you can buy. Find the nicest chopsticks you want, and then you can buy these little plastic things that you
Yeah.
just snap the chopsticks in, and it turns it into this.
Yeah, but it's not called fourth option, and they're not metal.
They don't come with their own case that apparently
Yeah, I need this.
you're like, hey guys, pull it out like, ooh,
Yeah.
so classy that you open it like, just kidding about
Children's chopsticks.
yeah.
What a punk.
Got it. You're a white person.
Could you imagine busting these out at a sushi restaurant?
Look, let's not make fun of that. Some people do carry a fork with them to sushi restaurants just in
It's
case.
fine, but you
Oh,
eat
that's
with
fine.
a fork.
Right.
Right.
All right.
This is not that. This is this weird
Also, I
in
don't think this
between.
ever happens. If you're going to eat this snack,
You're
you're
gonna
also
pour
not
it in your
using
mouth.
right. You're not using these at the same time.
You are
That's-
if you're classy.
then you're not eating the snack.
Like at the ball game, right? You know, you pull
the
out your
ball.
little...
Well, that might actually be fairly
No,
safe.
don't do it.
Wow, that's a long Q&A.
What do we got?
What
Imagine
currently
that.
eating utensil will this replace? None.
Whoops.
Definitely not
How much does it
chopsticks.
weigh? Why are we asking?
Well, this worked for
What?
burgers and pizza.
If you cut them up,
Oh my
don't
gosh.
joke. You can cut up any.
Oh my god.
Will this straw work for burgers and pizza? If you liquefy them enough, yes.
All right, that's a great Q&A. All right, like, will it work for boneted wigs? Or like you could
You
try,
can
but
try, but I wouldn't recommend it. I had a guy die once.
All right, that Q&A is my favorite part of that whole thing. All right, this is doing really well, actually.
Okay, this is the one that I was talking about the naming. I was like jokingly calling it the Sar-cade in my mind, and then you scroll down a second.
Oh, it's not Sar-cade. What is it?
I was like, it's the S-arcade, clearly, and then you scroll down a little bit.
I disagree. It's Sar-cade.
And is it Sar-cade?
It says Sar
Cade.
Return Cade.
Yeah.
It's arcade. It's S-arcade. It's also AR because of the
Oh.
augmented reality.
So it S-A-R-cade.
I don't know how you. I think it's S-arcade, but they're trying to. I don't know what the S is for either.
Spatial.
Guys,
think it's
Self-cleaning.
Self-cleaning.
I want this. That looks,
He's like jokes.
I'm not going to back it because I've been fooled too many times by tech.
Sure.
But this idea here, like where you're using a wall and it's bouncing off different things on the wall, that's awesome. You can build your own level. I'd be like, hang on, there's nails all over my wall. 'Cause I'm like, let's try this.
Yes. Yes, you can do that.
You're like, why are your pictures like that? Shut up.
I was playing a video game on my wall. That's why.
Do you have a projector that will cover your entire wall?
Is this not included with this?
Absolutely not.
And a wall that you have less enough on, like the right amount of stuff, because too little of stuff wouldn't be interesting.
I
Too
just
much
told you
stuff.
I'll make the wall.
You,
I'm over there like, why is that picture in the ground? Well, that just worked better for, that worked better
I
for the
couldn't
game.
be level 73.
It could be low, so I moved my wife's picture to the bottom.
This
Sitting there
looks.
like, sorry, kids, bad news. We need a smaller
Okay,
TV.
but this actually, I
don't
like
have
this
enough room to
concept
make my turns.
of playing it
Right.
on the floor. Because that's actually pretty easy to set up obstacles for that.
Not the projector.
But the projector,
No,
yeah,
you
how
gotta
you
put a
project on
projector
the
on the
floor?
ceiling.
I'll just put a project. Okay. I'm just
Easy
saying.
It
solution.
will not be held back. This
No,
is
look,
happening.
okay. I say all this
This
as
is
if
a great idea.
these guys know
for,
me. Me putting a projector on the ceiling is like telling, I can't do any of that crap.
This is a really cool idea for an establishment.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like, you know, if I
Yes.
had a coin laundry, maybe not a coin laundry,
Well, there are like video game bars.
if I had a
Yes.
thing, a video game
Yeah.
bar, there you go, yeah.
I was gonna say, like an escape
a
room.
hipster spot of any
Right.
kind.
Yeah.
If I sold, hipster things, I would have one of these projected on the wall.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then do whatever, the little design. I don't know. It just seems like, it seems cool, but it seems like a much more of an establishment type thing than something I buy and put in a residence.
That's a really cool idea, because thinking too, like escape rooms.
All right, hipster, calm
No,
down.
listen, hold up. No, places that have the like escape rooms, and maybe they have like a second room that is something like this, and they have a couple objects in there, and you can build your own wall and then play. So it just kind of bringing something a little more innovative to that establishment kind of place. That's
You know
so
what?
either a bar or an escape room.
An escape room is actually a really good idea.
What?
If like you were
Say
in
it
an
again.
escape room and halfway through it,
Oh.
like the wall lit up and you had to play a video game to solve the next puzzle kind of thing.
That's cool.
That would.
We need
And
to.
it had like
be fun.
outlines on all the things that are already on the wall. That would be pretty mind-blowing.
I love that look at this face. He's plotting.
No, I'm thinking about these. So they have this $199, which is actually pretty cheap, but I guess you have to buy the projector. It's like plug in your PC Mac, connect your projector, because everyone owns a projector.
Yes.
This would be really cool to do it like Dice Tower East or something.
It would be, but here I'm going down here farther, and it's saying $1,000 to get the business lifetime license, and I'm thinking, how would they know what I'm using it for? I mean, there's a lot of that. Honestly, are they going around checking little stores?
Well, you're going to have to advertise it, and I mean, eventually their name might show. You know what I mean? They're probably
I
going to
guess.
keep.
Only if they can find it S-A-R-K.
Yeah. Also depends
mean-
on how big you get. You know what I mean? Like if you kind of build,
That's rude.
a following. You personally.
Also, I want to know, and okay, taking out everything else, again, it looks cool. Are the games any good?
No. I can
And-
save you that suspense right now.
How good are the controllers?
They're okay.
Yeah.
They might be bad.
They might be okay. They're going to be better than the games.
It is really funny to
Every
see the
system's
game
controllers
options.
get better. I don't want to go back to NES.
Right, no. But the video on this one is so funny because it's like, is this just another one of your boring video game nights? And they're like, well, you can play on your wall. And they're playing like Asteroids. Are you tired of your AAA Studios Elden Ring? Play Asteroids.
You're right. It's not. I'm trying to think. My kids aren't sitting around going, "We're bored." I have to monitor video games because that's all they would ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine if they were on your wall. Tom.
It's a cool idea. I'll wait a few years.
Kids, we threw away the PS5. This is just
Here's
Alright.
a new system now.
Last project of the day. Do you need gloves that can heat up and are smart?
Do you need someone to translate your page?
Yeah, this
Yes,
was
this
there was a lot of interesting writing here.
Hilarious. Where's the sentence that you?
We always
laugh
adhere
at?
to the people-oriented, all-round warmth and comfort of the human hand as a starting point to design this project.
No,
There
keep
was
going.
one
There's
that was really
one
good.
hilarious.
Let me see.
I think it's.
I would let you
When our
guys
hands
find.
leave the heart treasure,
Yes,
we will help
that's
you
the one.
automatically power off because of your departure,
Yes.
not because you forget to keep consuming your power.
That's the one. That's the
What?
one.
What does that mean?
When our hands leave the heart treasure, sounds like a very interesting indie video game or something.
Hard treasure.
It's exclusive on the Sar-cade.
Yeah, only on the Sar-cade.
This clearly is a page that was Google translated.
Yeah.
And there should have been someone to help.
Then
help
how
them
is it
clean
getting
up.
back, though? I mean, why are people backing it if it's nonsense?
Maybe they're translating it back.
What are these for? To keep your hands warm?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
Right, that's why there's all the
Tom, people
cold
don't all
setting.
live in Florida, so
No. I warned. You have to be in a really, really cold place for gloves not to keep your hands warm.
there are some places in the world that aren't southern Florida.
Yeah, but they also
Oh my word, is it-
they
did
also
he not hear me
don't
the
have
first time?
Kickstarter there though.
But
If it's cold enough that you need these to warm up your hands in a hurry or you might die,
Right.
you also don't have Kickstarter there.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
No, I guess I would. These don't seem safe.
That's
That's
thing.
my- yeah.
Electricity in my hands. Then my hands are getting
kids are
hot
like, "My
and
hands
getting
are on
sweaty.
fire!"
Heart departure. You know what I mean?
This is
Yes.
definitely the origin story for the next
Yes.
Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
I bagged these gloves on Kickstarter. Now I'm Electro too. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm thankful it's gloves as opposed to like a hat or a pair of pants.
You
You know what I mean?
Like
Pants would be the
boxers.
worst.
Yeah, like if they come out with a line of these, I'm concerned at that point.
They do have heated jackets for like motorcycle riders in cold
Right.
areas, and they
But
like
that's-
heated clothing exists.
That makes more sense. Your hands are the last thing a lot of people cover. Like when you go outside, they'll see big winter coats and scarves, but they're not wearing hands.
Right.
Because
They're not wearing hands. Yeah.
They're not wearing hands.
Take off the
They're not
hands.
wearing hand coverings. Because you
Or
can,
gloves.
and then when you put gloves on it, I don't know if you've ever, I have lived up north, and it when it gets cold, your hands warm up really fast in gloves to the point where people often take them off because
Well,
it's too hot.
Well, people also buy those heat packs though, like those.
Who are these people
again,
buying? I guess I
Not
live in too
electric.
poor
I
of
mean,
an
I think
area.
it's people that like walk to work or something like that. But I mean, if you're like working or something, I mean, like you said, you get heated so quick, your hands get heated up with any movement because that's how circulation and blood flow works. So it just, I don't know,
It
yeah.
was a hard departure.
Let's go back to
Yeah, hard
games.
departure.
Picks of the week. Camille, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I was really this is hard. Fit to print, I wanted to do, but I'm not. I'm going to go with the werewolf one because I just can't. I know, but it's so hard. This one like killed me. I went back and forth. But gosh, just like this theme, and again, I'm not an RPGer, but this is those RPG elements. It's like I like elements of it, and I think that tied into a cooperative game. It looks like you're going to have to rely on that high cooperation and build your pack together. I think this one looks really neat.
All right, Chris.
I'm going to make an odd choice here. There's a lot of really good games this week, and there's ones that had cool turnaround stories from expectations. I'm going to go with the puzzles. I don't like puzzles, but I know Wendy really does. And when we do one as a family, I begrudgingly help. And at the end, you're like, a puzzle. This is really neat. I love they interview the people who made it, and they're talking about the different artists they found and their philosophy of making this kind of not escape room, but not puzzle mystery solving kind of thing. It gives me feelings of other games that I really enjoy, like Micro Macro, like the flashback zombie kids kind of thing. That I'm really, really charmed by this, and I'm happy that it's successful. This is their second one because their first one took off very well. So
Were these people at
It's
Kickstarter?
really successful. I mean,
Were
that's
these
a
at Gen
lot of money.
Con?
were they at Gen Con? I don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, I think that this
I
looks
wonder.
so cool. And if I have to do a puzzle, because every once a year or so we're doing
That's the
puzzles.
thing.
Then you
Then-
can
then, yeah.
play a game afterwards.
Give
Yeah.
something else to it. Yeah,
Oh, it's a
that's true.
tit for tat thing. All right. What about you?
I'm gonna go with the Creature Comforts one with the spin-off of that because it's adorable. There's a bunch of cute babies in it. Look at him. He's a baby. He's cute. And
bird.
I haven't played Creature Comforts yet, but I want to, and I want to play this one too. The end.
All right. Well, I will pick Fit to Print
All right.
because I like real-time fill-in type games usually, and I love the theme of making a newspaper.
It's very cool.
I really like that.
And I can play it with you.
I'm not as maybe. I'm not.
I can play too.
No.
I'll have my. I will bring my
Real
own
time.
fourth
Too much
utensils
for
and
you.
watch.
There's a pint ice cream buy-in cost. Yeah, I'll be using those things to play all my board games. That's we have to play all board games with those from now on.
Oh.
I'll bring a fork.
I'll bring my chopsticks.
Right.
Anyhow, this looks cool. I could live probably in this one. I kind of wish it wasn't anthropomorphic animals, maybe, but it's really good artwork.
Yeah.
And also, I love this team. I think this team makes really good games. I don't
Yeah.
always love their games, but they've never made a game that I hated.
Agreed.
That's
The worst
true.
game they've ever made for me was like meh. Like the
Not
worst.
for me. You can look at it and go, that one's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where I stand with them.
All right.
I would play any of those picks. Absolutely. I think that this was a really solid week all around.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's it for live stuff this week because we're going to PAX. We'll see you there tomorrow. Let me pull up the PAX exhibitor map so I can tell you what booth we'll be at since I keep
We'll see
forgetting.
on Friday, right? Tomorrow we travel.
Yeah, we might see you tomorrow. If you're in Philadelphia and you go to a cheesesteak place.
That's true.
There's a
Find us at
99%
the
chance that you will.
cheesesteak place.
Because we're going to all of them. We're going to all of them. We're at booth.
Right?
Hang on, I'm going to D. Deepwater, Dice Dungeons, Dice
There it
Throne,
is.
Dice Tower. 3755.
I knew that.
3755.
That's what I was going to say.
3755.
3755.
You text me that so I can find it.
I already forgot.
Just learn the jingle. 3755.
Oh,
the
my word.
nightmares.
All right, so anyway, Otherwise, there's lots of other videos going up this week. There's a ton of stuff, more reviews, more things going. So we'll be gone, but we'll also be here. We'll be in 2 places at once.
Crazy. Anyway,
if you come by PAX, come by the booth. We have a special handshake for you. I was about to say gift, but I'm like, we're not giving gifts, so that would be weird.
We're gonna have to touch a lot of hands now.
Yeah, wait, whoa.
I'll
fist
teach you the
bump.
secret handshake later.
Yeah, the secret handshake goes like this.
The secret handshake.
Let's go. All right, thank you, everyone. Until next time, I'm
Is
Tom
this-
Bassel.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
3755.